Hey, what's up, everyone? Neil here from Clearview Plastics, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough on our 3D printer enclosures so that you have an idea of what you're getting when you order an enclosure from us. So this particular one is for a new printer at the time, the Anycubic Cobra S1, and for the most part, this will be the overall setup for just about all of our 3D printer enclosures. So when you order from us, the first thing that you get to pick out is the panel type. And so our base enclosures carry a 1/8 inch panel. This particular enclosure has an upgrade to the thicker 1/4 inch panels, which is a little bit more burly, a little bit more robust, a little bit more professional feeling. And so when you're configuring your 3D printer enclosure, this is actually the one option that we recommend just because it is so much better feeling. The 1/8 inch panels work great if you're on a budget, and the robustness isn't as big of a deal as just the overall protection. If that's what you're going for, the 1/8 inch panels do work great, but the 1/4 inch panels make this thing really, really nice. And when you with our enclosures, you can bet that, of course, everything has a front door. And as I open this up, you probably hear this 3D printer get a little bit louder. So it helps to really reduce the noise as well from 3D printing. And so with this particular enclosure, it has what's actually called our seamless door design. And this is featured on all of the Core XY enclosures. And so it has this top hatch as well, so that you have easy access to work on your print head or do maintenance from the top there. And so that's a pretty nice option just as far as workflow and being able to work with the printer. On some of the printers, we also have side doors. If that's a thing that helps the workflow. Most of the Core XY printers will have a side door just like this. And then all of our printers come with a fan or filter port on the back panel. So the fan or filter port is designed to bolt on 120 millimeter fan. And with the back panel, you can flip it so you can have it so that it's on the left or the right. And then we can also set it up so that you have multiple filter options on back. So the way that we do it is we basically will cut out up to 2 holes on the back, and it will always be there will always be an extra hole based on how many filters that you purchase. So if you purchase one filter or fan from us, then we'll cut an extra hole for you, and we include a cap. One thing that this printer enclosure doesn't have at the moment is our intake filter. Our intake filter goes down on the side down here to give you some circulation inside of the enclosure, so that, say, if you're using this in like a dusty environment, then the intake filter, it doesn't have a fan on it, but you're going to take care of your airflow with the fan on the back. But the intake filter will introduce only clean air going into the enclosure. So especially if you're using this in like a dusty workshop, then that's a great option. On the back of this enclosure, we also have what's called our filament port. And we actually also have one on the side over here as well. This can be dependent based on which enclosure that you purchase, but basically all 3D printer enclosures come with a filter port or a filament port, so that you can feed in some of your Bowden tubes for multi-material units, or if you have an external like filament dryer, that you can feed your filament in that way. And then in this particular case, we've got our wire going in there as well. At the base on all enclosures as well, we also have our wire port as well. And this is a printed part. So this grommet would be inside of the printed parts kit. And that will allow you to run any wiring, so like the power cord, any USB cords, or any other cords into the enclosure so that you can power on the devices. When you're speccing out these enclosures, after the panel selection, then the next option is for the printed parts kit. And so the printed parts kit, that basically includes the magnetic latches, the corner brackets, and basically any other accessories. On this one, there's a lid here, the TPU grommets in the back. On this one, the little poop bucket back there. And so for most of our enclosures, it will take 1 to 2 rolls of filament to print off these. So you can elect to print them off yourself, or we can print them off for you and include them in your kit so you're ready to go. The third option inside of our enclosure configuration is for the air filters. So on this particular one, we have our exhaust filter, and you can pick up to 3 filters. So we have an exhaust filter, a recirculating filter, and an intake filter. We'll have a video so that you can get some information on our filters. So take a peek for that. And then the last part of configuring your enclosure is going to be accessories. And so we've got a wide variety of accessories that to choose from, and it will depend on basically on your needs. So we got lighting. We can include a 6th base panel. So the base spec is a 5-sided set over design, and some people that want to kind of seal their enclosure a little bit better choose to do a 6th base panel. We can also do for some of the enclosures a internal spool holder that is not suggested for the Core XY type of machines just because of the fitment. And we have other options that just might be a fit, including dampening pads and some extra Bowden tube. So keep an eye out for that.